we're going to learn how to cook using our own solar oven. Now, in order to make a pizza box cookie baker, you're going to need some aluminum foil, also some saran wrap, some tape, and sharp scissors or a razor. You'll also need some black construction paper and a pizza box. Let me show you what you need to do to get started. Now you want to measure over about 1 inch, and you want to cut out on 3 sides a door of your pizza box. Okay? You might want to lightly score it on the 4th side so it's easier for you to bend it open. Just like that. Now you want to cover this side here with aluminum foil. Go ahead and use some tape. You don't want to use hot glue because it'll melt when your oven gets warm enough. Go ahead and use some tape and secure some foil to this side. So how this is going to work is sunlight is going to hit your aluminum foil, and you're going to position it just at the right angle so that the light, most of the light that hits your panel here, gets reflected into your box. So we want to have a transparent cover here that will allow light to pass through, but it will trap heat inside your box. To do that, you want to cover this with a thin layer of plastic wrap. Okay, just like this. And you can tape it on either this side or the other side. Okay. So you should have foil on this side and saran wrap here. Now we need to work on the inside of your oven. If you have a piece of tissue in here, go ahead and take it out. Now the energy that comes into your box, it's going to be trapped here, and we want it to absorb as much of the heat as possible, and we want to make sure that that heat not only gets put here, but it stays here. And there's a few different ways to do that. We're going to line the box with some black construction paper, and that will help with absorbing the energy, but the paper itself is going to get hot, and so a lot of the energy is going to start to transfer from the paper through the box and actually leak out the sides of the box. So there's a few different ways you can deal with that. One of the things you can do is line the bottom of your box with aluminum foil first, and this will help keep the heat inside your box by putting it back on the paper. The other thing you can do is you can put an insulation layer here as well. So anything like a layer of cotton balls, or if you have shredded paper, you can spread that in here as well. And that will provide an insulating layer so the heat doesn't escape out your box. So I'm going to cover the bottom of my box with a thin layer of shredded paper. Okay, this is going to be like a little insulating layer for me. And then on top of that, I'm going to put my foil, and then on top of the foil goes my black construction paper. Okay. And you can secure this all into place with tape if you like. Okay, just like that. Go ahead and check to make sure that your box still closes, and if it doesn't, go ahead and make adjustments so that works. Now your last step is to actually put something in here to cook. You can start out with something simple like a graham cracker with a marshmallow on it and maybe a piece of chocolate, kind of make your own s'mores, kind of melt them all together. Or if you want to go a little bit trickier, a little bit more advanced, go ahead and plop a couple of drops of cookie dough inside, and you can expect your cookies to be ready in about 4 to 6 hours. Now, a neat addition to this is a thermometer. So if you happen to have one, go ahead and grab it and just lay it inside if you have the kind that's got a wire attached to it. This way you can monitor the temperature inside, and you can kind of get a feel for how hot or how cool your solar oven is. Now, a few things that are going to affect it, of course, is the insulating layer, the paper underneath here that we talked about already. And also what's going to affect it is the size of your pizza box. Other things that are going to affect it is the angle that your panel here is going to make with the sun. Go ahead and put something in here and we'll talk about that next. Now the last step is to actually adjust your panel here so that you get the most amount of light reflecting from the sun into your box. Now this is going to depend a lot on where the sun is at the moment, and you may have to move this as you go along. You may have to help your box track the sun as it moves across the sky. So what you want to do is place this in a dark room, use a flashlight and shine the flashlight, have it in a position where the sun is approximately right now, and then you'll be able to see where most of the sunlight is going to be inside your box, okay, and kind of get a feel for this. There's you can also use a laser beam if that will help you more. The laser isn't going to reflect very well off of a wrinkled surface, so make sure you get a nice smooth surface here. Another neat addition is to add a protractor to your pizza box. I've got one that I've printed out here on a sheet of paper, and by taping it to my box such that the 90-degree mark here, okay, is right where the hinge is. So this would be my 90 degrees, this would be different angles. So when I'm inside the house and measuring at what angle this needs to be at to get the light in here, I can easily repeat that when I go back outside. Okay, so you can simply use a piece of tape and tape that into place, and that will help you as well. Now your pizza box should get around 200 degrees, but depending on how well it's insulated and all the other factors that we have already mentioned, it may vary a bit, which is why having a thermometer inside is a good way to actually write down your measurements as you go along. Go ahead and give that a try.